Welcome to my show. It's my show. I am the director. Welcome everybody to Shelfside Spurs. I hope you're all well. You're all good, as well and as good as you can be with this shit shower of a club that we've got at the moment.
Yeah.
I've been busy editing something for the last hour or so I haven't actually seen on Twitter or the media. Have we any new links? Any old links? Any business?
Traore is now going to Barcelona.
Definite.
Yeah, we've had the here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, you've had the here we go, have we? From
Fabrizio Romano.
So we think we've been played by his agent, don't we?
Yeah.
Or do you think Spurs have pulled out?
Mendes. The weird thing is that all the talk is now about what's his face, Diaz, whose agent is also George Mendes.
He's not, is it?
Yeah, he is.
That probably gives you some indication of where we're at with it all. Then I guess maybe he knows more than he does know more than we know, doesn't he? To be fair,
well,
he knows a hell of a lot more than we know.
Yeah, to be fair though, I mean, it's not difficult for anyone to know more than our chairman when it comes to football. So yeah.
I wonder, and I said on the group, didn't I? Is it a deliberate scuppering attempt by Mendes to get back for them sacking Mourinho? Do you reckon he's strung him along to the last minute and he's pulled the transfer just to get back at them for sacking Mourinho? What do you reckon? Or does money talk louder?
I think if Barcelona weren't in for him, he would have probably kept going with it. But to be fair, Barcelona are offering more money than we are. So
it says something when a club with no money is outbidding us on players, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. They're £1 billion, €1 billion or something in debt.
It might as well be £1 billion and 20, aren't they, in debt? It's quite good in a way.
Yeah.
Few comments before we bring in a guest. Cody, I don't know if you're at work today or if you're protesting with the rest of the truckers. Well, not that you're a trucker, so why would you be protesting with the rest of the truckers?
Maybe he just fancied the ride in a truck, Johnny. Did that ever occur to you?
Yeah, hitchhiking down the road, jump in. Maybe he hijacked that snowplow and he's driving that in the convey to go and get. What's the president called? Trudeau. You're going to hunt down that dictator Trudeau, and maybe not. Gaguma's in the house. He's addressing us by our directorial names because it is my show. I am the director. Nick, you're the director of your life, and
aren't we all
Barry,
directors?
are you the director of your life? Cody's showing some love to Gaguma.
Welcome, Mark.
Yeah, welcome, Mark.
Welcome
to the Madhouse.
Indeed.
Loving the intro. Yep. It's all of the cup wins through the FA Cup wins, basically going right back to today. I left out the League Cup wins at the end because we'll get hit by that over the head when we are there any League Cups. But so I put all the FA Cup ones on there. Scott's in the house. Big up, guys. If somebody watches the show every week, I like to hear that Ron and Barney have to say. Not sure who this new host is, but he seems good. Will Jeff be doing a quiz later? Now, we haven't actually got Jens. He's not with us tonight, so we've had to drop the quiz. But we've got an extra special quiz next week to make up for it. Watch this space. We've got a special announcement to make once we get Alan on, who's joining us later. He'll be able to announce our special guest next week, and there'll be a special quiz, Jens against this particular guest, and the quiz is going to be on the guest, so it's an extra special boomer, mega quiz next week, which means I've got to write a damn quiz first. So now what I was doing for the last hour and a half is quickly knocking up a new guest in honor of Eugene and his. We were talking on our WhatsApp group and we decided we need some music for our new guest as well. So Gaz had come up with an idea for the music earlier, and I've just added some imagery to that music, and it all works nearly seamlessly, doesn't it, Nick? I need to little mini edit next week, but we'll give you guys a sneak preview now because we've got a guest waiting in the backstage area. So we'll do our new guest. We'll invite him on with our new music. Let me just find the damn thing now. Where is it? Here we go. So are you ready, boys?
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping to get the
And
music.
I'm your special guest. Intro Everlast. Gracias, senor.
If I was rude and cheeky, I'd say from one paedophile to another, but I'm not going to say that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and get that music to fit better. So when Jens is going through his pictures of who I am, when it gets to Sigurdsson, all the crowd's going to go sort of tail off in disappointment because they don't want any part of that. Oh, we've actually got another new guest, so you get to watch it again, boys. You ready?
Oh.
It's a tad long as well, isn't it? Oh, we've got a
it's a bit long.
Spin in a circle, yeah. We'll cut that down as well in my audio suite next week because I have an audio suite.
Kev's lost the internet. Bang on.
Bang on his entrance. Talking about making an entrance. Jesus, Louises. We need to give Alan the director's name. Any suggestions in the comments, please, for which director's name we can give Alan? I would say try and keep him clean, but it's not really going to happen on this show, is it?
We want the. I think Johnny's asking for names of actual directors.
Yeah, I thought we was talking about Hitchcock earlier.
Yeah, Hitchcock was thing because of the whole Rear Window thing. Yeah.
As we're an interactive show, I'm sure the viewers can come up with better names. If we don't get a good suggestion, Big Al's going to be Hitchcock. Alfred
Johnny, do you want to put the link in the chat so if anyone wants to come on as well?
Oh, we've got one space left, haven't we?
One space left, yeah. But Gaz said he might turn up. Let me have a look.
Well, we've got some new viewers, so you never know. They might want to come on and.
Yeah, I'll put the link to join us in the stream here.
Scorsese.
Scorsese, yep.
Yeah.
How are you?
We're all good, actually, yeah. As we said, as good as we can be with this shit shower going on.
Yeah.
How was your cheesecake, Al?
It weren't cheesecake. I was gutted. I was only doing it for Gaza.
I'm sure the viewers will join me in wishing Mrs. Allen a happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Allen.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Allen.
Happy birthday to her.
Alan's been quaffing cake and cheesecake so he can get through and done in time for the stream. So you got Rian Johnson, Martin Scorsese, Gaguma's come out with. Riding on the shoulder of giants from Cody's suggestion above there. Look, what are you going for? Are you going for Alfred Hitchcock, Rian Johnson, or Martin Scorsese? Big Al?
I'll let you pick. Go on, because I don't feel.
I think we've had two Scorseses, so we should go with Scorsese.
Okay.
Right.
Kev's got the best Wi-Fi he's had ever of 78 meg. It conks out.
It's not a great advert for Ireland, is it? The internet connection in the middle of the. Where is he? What part of Ireland is he in?
He'll be totally isolated.
What part of Ireland is he in? I can't even remember.
He's in the west.
He's in the west.
The one with no fucking Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah.
Now, regular viewers will know that we begin each week with a little reading from my book, Spurs on This Day in History, on a famous event which has happened throughout our illustrious history. We've only got one today, so you haven't even got a couple of dates to choose from. You've got Saturday, the 27th of January, 1968. Martin Chivers scores twice as Spurs gain a credible 2-2 draw at Old Trafford in the FA Cup. Tottenham took the lead in the 4th minute, but found themselves behind by the middle of the second half. Spurs looked to be heading out of the competition until Chivers got his second in the very last minute of the match. Spurs edged the White Hart Lane replay 1-0 4 days later. Nice. Were you there, Big Al?
No, I'm just a pup.
Of course he wasn't.
I was 5 years later.
Chivers.
Chivers, big chiv.
So, that,
I
so,
remember
John,
seeing-
so John,
I
that was
actually
like
remember
the last week, no? When or the other week we did it, and we also went to a replay in the cup.
Yeah, we'll have a replay.
We
Double
do,
bubble
we
on the
do,
old
we do,
money in it as well.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid actually getting to see George Best in one game just before he left Man U. And I can understand why he was leaving, because he had gone down. Though he showed it at Fulham. He showed some talent at Fulham, but he didn't do anything that day. I think
Glenn
they won
Hoddle
3-1.
famously talks when he was on the ground staff at Tottenham, seeing Glenn Hoddle in his pomp. When Man United came to town, he said he looked forward to going. He was in there as a ball boy, or whatever. Seeing, it might have been the same game, I guess.
Yeah.
It's towards the end of when did you start going?
I started going 73. I can't remember if
It would have
I
been
don't know
around
if it
then,
was-
wouldn't it? Then
I don't know if it might have been the season Man United went down, which I can't remember to the heart of me now.
74, I think. Let me check my encyclopedia.
Your encyclopedia, Google.
Googalia, yeah, 73, 74. So they went down in 74. So was it the season of 73 that you started going, or
Yeah,
the season
I went
of
started going in 73, and
Right,
I remember
so,
seeing
yeah,
I remember seeing George Best play. He saw like for Man U at the time.
have a look when Hoddle made his debut, or if anyone in the comments knows what year Hoddle made his debut, if we can
76.
work out. So he would have
76
been
Hoddle.
So he was 17 then. Was he out?
Yeah, I think
So
he was.
I reckon
he
that'd be
said
the
in his
same
book-
game.
I think he said in his book that he was on the bench watching the
Yeah.
games from the bench.
Hoddle made his debut for us in 75.
Was it
at the age
75?
So when he was a young apprentice kind of ball boy kind of thing, when he saw George
Oh,
Best,
right.
it could have been the same game. It
Born in
wouldn't
Hayes,
surprise me if it was. That's the way things work, isn't it?
Glenn signed as an apprentice in 74,
Yeah.
and then signed as a professional in 75. So he probably would have been
I
at
reckon
the
it was.
club
Yeah.
from about 70.
Yeah.
I thought he always made his debut the season before we went down. He played a few games.
That was the season. Yeah, that was it. We went down in 77. didn't we?
Yeah, 77. Yeah.
Yeah, so 75, 76 would have been the season he made his debut, and then 76, 77 we went
We
down.
sound like the Connells, that band. 74, 75.
Yeah.
Or was it 75, 76?
Yeah.
Weren't they? I think they were Canadian, I think, weren't they, Cody? Who's watching in the comments? The Connells. Gaguma has not only wished your missus a happy birthday, Alan, but she's given her a little cake emoji as well. Look.
Hello,
Yeah.
Gaguma.
And
Brilliant.
she's
I always
also
say-
helping
I
out
always
by
say
blowing
hello
it out.
to Gaguma in chats when I'm on other streams. Hello,
As you
Gaguma.
should, young man, as you should.
Yeah.
Lovely young lady.
I've been busy encyclopediaing. The Connells are actually from North Carolina. In
The
United
Connells.
States. Yeah,
The Connells, yeah.
They're called. I think they're
Nowhere
called
near
that.
them.
Connells,
Yeah,
the Corals.
The Connells.
Lehigh.
The Connells. As in the
people-
estate agent.
Yeah, the popular beat combo who sang the song 74, 75.
74,
Obviously,
75.
Yeah, being from North Carolina, obviously they were just celebrating the fact that they got to that number at that age.
I think it was a whimsical look back at their youth, wasn't it?
Mm.
Mark makes a very valid point. We could do with
Yeah.
Glenn now on a free transfer. I think we'd pay a lot of money for him actually, rather than a free transfer.
Yeah,
Well,
get him
Levy
out.
wouldn't, but he would.
Get him out of his contract with BT.
He'd still be able to do better than what Upton players though.
I bet
Yeah.
he would. Yeah. Levy would be like, oh, he's had ill health recently. Knock a couple of quid off, you know.
Yeah,
Can you pay us, Glenn, so you can play?
This
Right.
is,
I'm sure
this is
they'd
how
love
much we charge you for your training kit. This is how much we
Yeah.
charge you for the boots.
yeah.
Be interesting to see actually the apprentices and the kids now when they go into the academy, whether he charges them for their tracksuits and if any viewers watching who've got kids in the Tottenham academy, it's a long shot I know, but does he charge them for their tracksuits and for their training?
You would hope they wouldn't, being as football is supposed to be one of the great sort of poverty escapes. You would hope desperately that he wouldn't, but would it surprise any of us if he actually did charge them?
No,
Welcome to our academy.
The
Here's an
amount of
invoice.
jackets, those £150 jackets that were bombing around the other week when I was there,
Yeah.
I cannot believe that Levy's giving them out on the free.
Yeah.
Probably
talking
a
about
payment
the
plan on their wages.
Yeah.
When
on
you
their
turn
bottom, it'll be like,
professional,
Yeah.
it's a welcome pack, and you've deducted all of the training
it'll
kit
be,
you've had over the years.
tax, national insurance, welcome pack.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually probably why Dylan Markanday actually signed for Blackburn. It's because
You don't have to pay for his training kit.
The agreement ended
when he hits 21, he has to pay for his
Blackburn
training kit.
That's why Adama doesn't want to come, because he'd have to,
extra large.
Because of the charge for the baby oil.
We found the reason: baby oil and the training kit. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah.
We've put it off long enough. As you can see, I put it in my tiki ticker. With no match to discuss this week, all we can really turn our attention to is the inertia in the transfer window. I mean, Rez and Nick, you've been on other streams. Al, have you been on any other streams this week, venting your spleen?
I went on to the one that Mark Cousins called me on, the Tantrum, Tottenham Tantrum. You
could have had the exclusive that you've flipped 180, and you could have used it on this channel, and you've given it to the exclusive to another channel. Big Al, what's all that about?
Well, no, that's the exclusive went yesterday, didn't it?
Get rid of Scorsese. You're the director, LJ. Get rid of it.
Want to build up again? I want to build up. Come on, I want to build up.
I am the director.
That's terrible. You are terrible.
You're just a troublemaker, Jay. You're just.
No. It's my show. I'm not having people not giving exclusives by guests on my show on other shows. Thank you very much.
Yeah, right there.
All right, okay, we'll turn back to 24 hours. No, I love Levy. Oh no, I don't. I hate him. How's that?
It was on Alan. It was on Spurs Eurasian.
Spurs Eurasian, yeah. That's actually when I actually showed. But
right.
The last one I did actually go on Tottenham Tantrum Gold as well.
For those who haven't been watching as long as others, Alan has famously been not pro Levy, but he was giving him a chance on the fence. Yeah, you could see some of the good he'd done, but he's slowly tipping over, and he's slowly tipping over, and he's slowly.
And do you know what? Listen, I mean, yeah, a lot of people might sort of have a go at me for it, but there are some things that he's done all right. I mean, actually, I'm not going to give him huge credit because it's not a great achievement, but he did build a nice stadium, right? It's not that stuff that's the problem. I don't even mind the property speculation as long as it's not at the cost of the club. If he was pouring money into the squad, I'd say go fucking property speculate all you want. I don't give a shit. As long as I know that when I turn up to watch Spurs, they're in with a decent chance of winning, and that we're in the conversation for trophies. It's not the fact that this is what a lot of people get wrong, is that they sort of think we oppose those things because they are those things. I mean, I might be opposed to property speculation generally, but that's outside of things. I can't stop it. I'll have a philosophical discussion with someone about it, but I'm not going to stand there and go, "You're a property speculator. I hate you. Get out of my club."
Unfortunately, we've been in the conversation for the trophies, but like a story. But unfortunately, as always, ends with an unhappy ending, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. But and that's the thing that I'm. And this was what this transfer window, just to keep it on point, is really showing, because I'm sorry, 27 days in, this is mismanagement. This is complete mismanagement, and it's not Paratici that's the primary problem here. It isn't, right?
Because we don't know that, do we?
No, but do you know why? Do you know why I say that though, Jay? The reason I say that is that whatever Paratici is trying to, whatever sort of system that or framework that Paratici is operating within, that would have been set by Levy, and if we are scrabbling around on the 27th day of the transfer window, still not signed anyone, it just demonstrates that the framework that Paratici has been given is inadequate, or Levy is still fully interventionist. So
there's a reason he was hired, though, Rev, wasn't there? If you notice, when he was hired, the comments were that he admired him as a negotiator, a big part of negotiating is brinksmanship. So when you've got deadlines, I imagine one of the things he liked most about Paratici was his negotiating prowess, similar to himself. I reckon he must have reminded him of himself a little bit. I think that's probably why we are where we are, because he's doing a similar job to what Levy used to do.
I think that's a little reductive. I don't see Paratici as being. I don't see anyone being in the same mold as Daniel Levy, other than maybe the only other chairman, or if you like, football executive that I can think of that comes close to Levy is Lyon's president.
Yeah,
who's known, or who has a reputation for being a bit of a basket case, whereas Levy doesn't have a reputation for being eccentric. He's just got a reputation for being a complete cock when it comes to negotiations.
It's a business administrator.
Two things there. Do you think Paratici has been lied to as well?
Maybe not. That is less difficult, although in fact the Traore situation in the summer carries suggestions. I can't say thing, but does carry suggestions. Yeah, this
and guess what? Aston Villa have signed another player.
There you go.
I mean, they signed today.
Yeah, I mean, okay, from the filth, they've signed Callum Chambers, but that's not the point. They're still doing bits, right?
They're doing business, exactly. And it puts the lie to the idea that January is impossible to sign anyone. It puts a lie to the idea that Spurs don't have money, because with the best will in the world, Villa are currently a smaller club than us. There has been a time in history when they were a bigger club than us. At the moment, we're a bigger club than them.
The comparator would be if we could have a look at Juventus and see if he did deals late into the window when he was. If his modus operandi was doing deals late in the window for Juventus whilst he was there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's always, you see, a lot of people will sort of slam Paratici and say, I mean, I know for a fact that Tommy, for instance, Tommy Mitchell, he is quite heavy on Paratici, saying, well, he was just an assistant to Morata, which is absolutely true. He was. It was Morata that was the sort of head, and Paratici was the assistant. That doesn't necessarily disqualify Paratici from the job, because everyone's career develops. People can be an assistant for a while before taking the step up. I think that either way, whichever way it happens to be, let's say, for instance, Paratici is the fall guy, is the patsy that Levy has picked, or Paratici is fully the Levy sidekick in all of this, the problem still comes back to the chairman. Because if he's a patsy, the chairman has undermined his managing director of football, and if he's a sidekick, the chairman is still pulling the strings.
To play devil's advocate here, and I'm in no way, my thoughts on Levy. I'm not defending him, but what we know about Paratici, what we've all been told by the people that knew him best, was that what he likes to do is to get 5 or 6 deals done at the same time, and then pull the trigger on the ones he wants to do. So. In theory, we could still be in that situation where he's led the horse to water on a lot of deals, and in the last few days he'll go, "We'll have him. You can go. You can go on the deal." So maybe we're getting ourselves worked up unnecessarily. That's the devil's advocate.
And I've said it. No, and you're absolutely right. And I've said that if I'm proven wrong, I will put my hands up and say I was wrong. Yeah. I'm not ashamed to admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
To be honest with you,
it's a wise person that admits when they're wrong. A wise person. Sorry to cut. Just the final thing I'll say on that, Alan, before you do, Ron. Sorry.
No one talks over my guests on my show.
How you go, Spielberg?
all I'll say on that is a very great quote that basically says that a wise man changes his mind sometimes. Changing one's mind is proof that one has one. So I don't mind if at the end of this transfer window, my good friend Colin has believes fully that we'll get 3 players in. If he turns out to be proven right and I'm proven wrong, I will happily put my hands up and say I was wrong in this window. It's not enough just for one window, though, right? My overall thinking what the club needs. But I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong. Sorry, Alan. I'll let you.
We know.
Les, you ain't wrong, mate. Because I'll tell you something. The way things are now, you know, is as I said earlier to you on yesterday. We've had the Grand Open for half a year. We've had 2 NFL games. We've had the boxing. We've had the income. Right? There's no excuse that he couldn't have done something in the first couple of weeks just to show that he was going to do something. You know what I mean? Not being funny, but if he had actually really gone for Traore at the start, we might not be having this conversation about Barcelona. You know, but because he's left it so long and it's been dragging on, it's given Barcelona the opportunity to say, "Oh, well, I think we'll have a go." I think we'll.
Like Mark says, you go to Wolves, Alan, don't you? We're interested in buying Adama Traore, please. Right, that'd be £20 million. What about 17 million? No, he's worth £20 million. Barcelona ring up. We're interested in Adama Traore. Here's £20 million. Okay, there you go.
Here's 29 million.
Here's 20 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've got a little bit of money left over from the Emerson money that we conned Tottenham out.
Yeah.
I've long said it. He's addicted to brinkmanship negotiations. So he can't wait to push everything to that last day, and he can try and.
That's why I'm starting to agree with Rez in the sense of I think he's got his hands still too much into it rather than leaving it to Paratici. Because, you know, but then I'll be honest with you, I don't always agree with media anyway. So I take it a bit like with in the know information. I take it with a big pinch of salt.
Yeah,
because like, I mean, not being funny, over this last week or two, Traore's price has gone from 20 million, 25 million to 30 million.
That's supply and demand, though, if 2 people are after him, it's going to push the price up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but don't forget, he did score a goal, so that mostly put it up a bit.
Yeah.
Well,
but ultimately,
got 2. So.
It actually, again, it demonstrates the paucity and the really poor way that Levy operates. Because if at the beginning, let's say this is accurate and his price has increased, we don't know, obviously, if that's what's happened, if Wolves have raised the price. But if at the beginning we'd gone in with a price that Wolves would have found acceptable then and there, he probably would be a Spurs player right now. Now, I'm not going to argue the merits of whether or not he's a good signing for Spurs. That's beside the point. It's a question of we could have got him on the 1st of January or the 2nd or the 3rd of January, you know, very, very soon, right? Wolves went out and
a holiday.
Yeah.
Wolves went on holiday.
Yeah, he was in the Bahamas when we could have been signing a player, in this case, let's say Traore.
Just to give us a boost.
To play devil's advocate again, sorry, Nick. That's another thing that we were told about Paratici, that he likes to leak a false target so that everyone's focusing on that. Maybe Traore was the false target.
Maybe
keep everyone talking about that, and then not what he was up to really behind the scenes.
Also, before I was rudely interrupted by the director.
But you know what? The thing about that is,
all right, Bye. The only person
Look, I've directed some quality films, so I hope you know, Lord of the Rings, King Kong, and I know you've got Star Wars, right? But seriously,
Ron Jeremy directed that one as well, Lord of the Rings.
I'll change
Lord of the Ring pieces, surely.
I'll change mine to Disney because I love Disney films.
It's one end of the spectrum to the other, isn't it? Go on, Nick.
But we're not in the age where you have to be at a fax machine, right? He can do business all over the world, wherever he needs to be. And in fact, I'm damn sure, or maybe we're not sure, he's not the one logging into the bank account and transferring the initial fee over, is he? No, so you know, there's plenty of people around him. I mean, I know, like with everything, with you know, he wasn't going to sack someone over the weekend because he'd have to get the marketing department in, the person to put the post up on Twitter onto the website. But I'm sure, just on that, I'm sure there's something going on with overtime today in Spurs because there were about 18,000 emails today to deal with FA Cup free entry. If you buy a ticket to Brighton, you get 2 junior tickets to the women's game at the Hive the next day.
Right.
Premium match day tickets, only £239 to
Oh,
enhance
is that all?
Yeah, and that was against, I think that was against Wolves from. We've also had a holiday player development camp for half term for the kids. So maybe Lee's trying to sign them that young, you know.
I'm sure in these days when people's energy bills, for instance, and cost of living are going through the roof, I'm sure that everyone's going to be just wonderfully warmed by this opportunity to spend £239 on a football match.
Yeah.
Oh, Lordy.
I've actually been in contact with the ticket office, like my side of things, but it was in general for everyone, because I know you boys are season ticket holders. Well, I'm only a member. Now, when they put the tickets out for for us on sale, we have to buy 3 games at a time. If you want to go to all 3 games, you have to buy them 3 at a time, and they're about 2, 3. Well, put it this way: I bought tickets the other day when they went on sale for Newcastle, which is on the 2nd of April. So that's 8 weeks, 9 weeks, yeah. Then all of a sudden they come up with, a day later, they come up with change of fixtures for the TVs. Now, when I was a member, when the stadium first opened, which I think you was Barry and Rez, you were both members then, was you?
Yeah.
Right. The tickets were going on sale a week before the game. We were getting full houses, right? Because they're doing it 2 or 3 months before even the TV have announced the games. You're getting people that are coming over from America, flying over from Ireland, coming from here, coming from there. They've booked their flights, they've booked their tickets, they've booked this. And the next thing you know, they change the TV. Everton is now a Monday night. The amount of people I've seen on Twitter that can't go now because it's on a Monday night.
Yeah, and also sell our tickets and put it on the exchange. We can normally before it was kind of a couple of weeks before, and now it's depending on whether they've sold out all the tickets. Well, they're not selling out all the tickets, so Levy's got the money. And like the article came out in the week, I think I shared it on the WhatsApp group. We're the club with the most empty seats. And it's costing a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah,
per game.
165,000 or something, isn't it?
That's it, 165,000. I said it was 165 million the other day. I got that wrong. So 165,000. And like you said, it's just it just beggars belief because you can't plan it. You can't plan anything. You can't for example. Johnny's got football. They've moved one of the games on a Sunday to a 2 p.m. kickoff. Potentially, if things change in terms of they move a game to a different side, I might not be able to go because of commitments. But like you say, people have planned to come down. They've probably planned to come down for the Everton game, spend the weekend down here. And they're going back Sunday because they got work on Monday. Well, now they've either got
been thrown up.
They can't come at all,
or don't come at all. Exactly.
There was I can't remember his name on there. That he put a post that he bought his child some tickets like for the Everton game for Christmas.
Yeah. No, he can't go
and now he can't go, and he's got to break the news to his kid that he can't take them. Because he can't afford them to have 2 days off school, because it would be the time it takes to travel.
If they were even allowed to have their child out of school for a day because I mean I know my little nephew, if he needs a couple of school days off, the school will ask serious questions as to why is the kid out of school, and they won't accept it if they don't accept the reason. They will log him
They're fine.
They're fine, yeah. So, no, I mean, it's the whole thing. Listen,
Okay.
we are the lowest of the low when it comes to everyone involved in football that isn't a fan, right? And I include the players in that as well, with their sort of rarefied ivory tower existences, right? There's some that are, I mean, the majority of them try, I will give them that much. But how much of it is them trying to improve their brand when they do that, when they interact with fans? You know, one or two you can, I mean, from our lot, I would say that Lucas Moura genuinely likes doing it. Sonny genuinely likes doing it, you know, but every single constituency within football outside of the fans is treated more importantly than the fans, whereas it should be completely the other way around. We should be the absolute first priority in football, not the clubs, not the players, certainly not the executive, and certainly not the league broadcasters, us.
I think the problem with football is because it's so big now with the TV. Yeah, the TV don't give a monkeys because they seem to they must have it in their head that everyone comes from Tottenham or everyone comes from Manchester or everyone comes from wherever. You know, they're next door neighbours to the football ground. You know, it's ridiculous. I mean, as I say, I'm going back quite a few years. That when long before Sky even come in. You know, it was Mum, I'm on my way. Yeah, okay. I know where you're off to, Spurs. You know, it was a case of 2 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, I'll be walking down to White Lane.
My brother went to the 1984 UEFA Cup final. Right, I was only a nipper. I would never.
Don't talk to me about that, please.
he just walked to the ground.
Yeah.
Right. When it was kicking up and just got in. Right.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I'm not advocating, and I think he got it. I think he sneaked in. I think at that time it was possible to sort of get in without paying, and I'm not advocating that at all. Right?
No.
Even if you want to go for a game, pay for a ticket. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, as I've said, I used to go to. I started in 1973. Now, don't get me wrong. The first few games I went with my sister because she was like me older. But eventually, my mum and dad used to let me go. Now, this is God's honest truth. I was 10 years old, 10 years old, going to a Spurs game. I lived in Tottenham, which was only a mile away, but a 9 or 10-year-old wouldn't be allowed out on the streets on their own.
Yeah. No, but I mean, even then, listen. The other issue is that in all likelihood, at that time, pocket money would have been enough for you to get in.
Yeah.
Right now, I mean, okay, juniors, fine. It's a lot less than an adult ticket, but I mean, Liverpool, where I'm sat, I couldn't go because I was abroad at the time, so I put my ticket on the exchange. I got nearly £80 for it, and that's just for the ticket. You know, I mean, it's just turning into a complete free for all, and we sat in anticipation of the fan led review. You know, maybe answering some of these issues. Nothing. No discussion about money. No discussion about the fan experience and how much it's basically just fleecing people.
Yeah.
And we're the worst. Spurs are the worst culprits in that. The highest ticket prices, you know, amongst the highest ticket prices in the league, the highest food and drink prices. You know, a day out to Spurs. I mean, I'm very, very careful with what I spend when I go. I plan it out to make sure that I'm not going to end up spending a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
Right. But, you know, if you meet up with your mates, say in a pub beforehand, you're going to stand at least one round.
Yeah.
You know, that's money you're paying. Right. And I don't mind a pub making money because that's a pub. Right. But it just adds to the cost of petrol, cost of parking. You know, you want to have something to eat. It's getting more and more expensive. And the clubs and the league and the broadcasters and basically every other constituency is just not helping us. They don't care about us, even though every single communication is, we care about the fans. We care about the fans. We care about the fans. No, you don't. You really don't. And it's obvious that you don't. So stop saying it at least. Yeah. At least that way my intelligence isn't insulted.
Speaking of people's intelligence being insulted, we've got a new guest.
Hey,
What's up,
Mr.
Peter?
B, you're all right there.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I would say I'd take down that Gylfi Sigurdsson picture.
Yeah. I think that might be.
Right.
Excuse
I
me,
think there's a reason
Brian,
Jens hasn't
you've
been
only just got
publicised on
on.
that one.
You don't want to be booted off by our director.
This
Yeah,
is
I am the
He's
director,
been
Brian.
really directed.
Oh, if Rez is the director, I'm a shoo-in. I'm fine. I'm fine. I can say whatever the hell I want. But yeah, I think Gylfi needs to be taken down.
Like a Jedi Knight, like a Padawan.
Mate, I'm ready to go to war. In the blue corner.
Yeah.
In the blue corner. Exactly. But how are we all? Alan, always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson is mate. You've got too many fucking names. Are you some kind of born? Are you born identity? Are you like some kind of spy?
Right, they're all directors. They're
Our
all directors.
director gave us
George
directors'
Lucas.
names this week.
George Lucas, Walt Disney, Peter Jackson, Steven Spielberg. They're all directors, apparently.
I've got that.
Yeah.
Well, could have directors in the week of Daniel, the Daniel Levy bullshit production week has started.
Well, I went for Walt Disney because Pinocchio is my favourite one, and we know Pinocchio is, don't we?
Oh, Alan, to hear you say this stuff is so lovely. Oh, Alan. This is like music.
Careful, Al. If someone, other people not here, some people hear you, they might accuse you of anti-Semitism if you talk about Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Wait and see in the morning, Alan. You'll have an email saying that your parking permits have been revoked.
Yeah.
Levy were like, right, that's it. Alan's parking's gone.
Yeah.
So, what's news? What have you been talking about?
We haven't. There's nothing to talk about. We've got no games to talk about. Yeah,
We're
the
behaving
ins and
ourselves.
outs. We're trying to avoid talking about the only signing in the only in or out, which is Jack Clarke to Sunderland, isn't it? So we didn't really want to spend 2 hours talking about Jack Clarke to Sunderland. So we've been coming up with various theories, and I've been playing devil's advocate as to what they could potentially be doing behind the scenes, as to what the fuck they're playing at. I think on your stream earlier, Brian, one of your guests made a good point. Maybe deep down he doesn't want to take that step to the next level. You know, if we're going to be in the Champions League every year, he's going to have to sign £100 million players. He's going to have to pay. He's going to have to increase his wage bill, isn't he? He's going to have to pay Harry what they're earning. So it's that next step, isn't it? Which we all thought he would take. Now he's got Conte and Paratici, and he's kind of resisting that last step, isn't it, to acting like a big club, which is I think which is where we are.
Exactly. I mean, I'll tell you now. You look at Newcastle now. I'll tell you now. With Newcastle, I would be happy to be the first wave of players. You want to be the second wave of players because they've got Eddie Howe in, and they're signing players that will get them out of relegation and will make sure they're not in that kind of predicament again. And then Eddie Howe, we know, and he did what he did with Bournemouth. What's up, Harry? Good friend, good guy. So they'll then say, right, okay, we've now got our mid-table security or whatever, and the players have got us there. And they'll go, right, now we need to get the players who'll get us into Europe. And then when they get to Europe, it'll be right, that's the players. And now that's how you should be doing it. Listen, Eddie Howe, as much as I like the guy, I like the football he tries to play, Newcastle are not looking at him to say, right, you're taking us to the Champions League. They're saying you're getting us to like far away from a relegation struggle and maybe top 10 with what he could do with Bournemouth. Yeah. But as soon as we get those top 10 kind of figures, we need to go to the next level and we act. Yeah. And then we
get relegated as well. He'll be getting back up.
A lot of people will laugh when I say this, I reckon. A lot of people will laugh when I say this, but Pep Guardiola is likely to be available when they get to that point where they're going to start making an actual run for things. And they've got the money to sign him.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's leaving Man City at some point in the next, say, 18 months, right?
I think he'll want to. new culture and new country though when he rests. But they will
Maybe,
be able to, they will be able to tempt him, won't they? They will be able to tempt him.
Think of it this way, and I know that Pep Guardiola has often sort of, I don't know how motivated he is by money, but there's been times where he's not basically worked because he didn't want to. Fair enough.
More than you think. More than you think.
Yeah. But Newcastle can throw ridiculous amounts of money at him and ridiculous amounts of money at players, in terms of wages and stuff like that. They have been shut, and it's been proven to them that FFP is completely unworkable and won't be policed or enforced in any real way. So they'll just do what Man City did on a bigger scale.
It's another reason we thought this would be the time for Levy to change his modus operandi. You've got Newcastle and Villa now coming up to the top table, aren't they? And we had to try and stay ahead of them.
Absolutely.
Well, have you seen Burnley have done business today?
Burnley, yeah.
Burnley have bought in that guy that scored a hat. They bought the striker that scored a hat-trick against us from Dynamo Zagreb.
Yeah.
He looks all right, to be fair, and
he looks really good.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He looked really good. He tore us apart. I mean, not that it's very hard. But he did a job. And Burnley, they've just got Mark, I'm getting around today. At the moment, I need to get on to and I'll say it on this stream. Oh no, I'll say it on this stream as well because I need to get this out here about the protests that have been planned. Obviously, there was another big faction on Twitter that was saying, "Yeah, we're going to be there. Yeah, we're going to do this. Yeah, we're going to do that. Yeah, we've got T-shirts." But today, they've had to pull out because of a death threat that came in. I mean, I'm not getting into it or what I think about it or whatever, but they're not coming. And it was led to believe by people that because they're not there, the protests aren't going ahead.
They are.
They are most certainly. Just people know that I'm very, very Levy out, and they know I'm part of a Levy out group. It's not that one. The two that I stand proudly with are Changes for Spurs and To Dare is to Dare. And we've been tweeting like batshit crazy today to say the protests are most definitely on. Just because they're not coming, we will be there.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know numbers, but they're going ahead.
The Spurs media department have got burner accounts. Could they have set that other one up and then populated it, and then so they can spread that it's off to try and discourage people from going? And they're trying to populate that one now to try and stop people going.
Well, it's good that you bring out that you're talking about conspiracy theories and stuff, because what you've said, I can vouch for it being absolutely A1 guaranteed. Not saying that they were the ones that would go that extreme with whatever. Could have been them that set up the account to try and get a client watch and then shut it down. Because and Rez, I don't know if Rez and Nick, Sean, Barry, Peter, whatever is going under his bloody name, Spy.
Just very quick, just some legal advice. Just call him insert name here.
Yeah, See, let's talk about upping your retainer after the show. But when we were at the protest, like I've got two examples. One behind where we were protesting for the NFL, there were like food trucks and whatever. And there's a guy who Rez knows now where we went to get a burger from on the Chelsea game. A very good friend of mine who's huge on the Levy Out protest, but he can't have his face shown because he has his burger stand. He has whatever, so you won't know who he is. But we went in there to see. Apparently, we're attracting local businesses, and it's going to be great for local businesses. Anyway, we're trying to go in, and we're going in via the exit. And the security knew him and said, "Yeah, you two can go in. Just when you go, if you want to go out and come in, just let me know and I'll sort it." So went around asking those people if they were from the local area. Not a single one of them were from the local area. And then one of my friends that were at the protest had to go. So I came out to say goodbye, and I said to him, "Listen, I'm coming out, but I'm going to be back in." He said, "Yeah, no problem." So I went out. As I went to go back in, a member of Tottenham Hotspur security stood in front of me and goes, "You're not coming in." I was like, "Well, no, I just spoke to him and I am." He's like, "No, you're not coming in." I was like, "Well, he goes, "No, we know who you are. You're not coming in." So I was like, "Right, here we go." And then at the Levy Out process as well, these stupid people. This is how stupid Levy spotters are. Everyone's wearing casual dress and everything. This couple of ladies in like not Tottenham Hotspur suits, but formal
jacket.
Yeah, no, but they're wearing like a uniform.
Steve Hitchin in a wig.
So literally come with a uniform, a clipboard, and are taking selfies like this.
Yeah.
And we're like, "Hi, we're here." They're literally, and like, I'm not just saying it. All these clubs do it. It's the way they gauge what's going on in social media.
They do.
Yeah.
But they
It's
get
a
reports.
very
They get them every day or every week whenever they want them, Brian. Like, what's the public mood out there? Can you imagine? It's not looking good, Daniel. Negative.
Yeah.
Negative.
I mean, it got to the point yesterday, and I had to laugh. I don't know if anyone else saw it. On LinkedIn, Tottenham put a post in of all different jobs that are available within the responses on that. Are just absolutely brilliant. Absolutely were brilliant. Anyone that wants to laugh, go and look at that. It's just a show. Like I said, there are Levy spotters out there. Like I said, when I went to the first protest, I missed him by 15 seconds. Levy spotters. When we were there the other day, the security's gone from one of the little hut that they have that Nick would have seen when we were together. Oh, to insert name here. Mate, insert name here. Where insert name here was, there was like one security guard, and they came out occasionally. The other day, there were 3 security guards inside the company unit, 3 outside, and 1 just floating about walking. Listen, he knows it's getting attention. He knows it's not going anywhere. He knows doomsday is coming.
Sorry, man.
Why? What funny?
No, look at the name.
Yeah, I saw that.
As Johnny being the director.
Look, if this was my show,
I've just made a subtle change, Brian.
if this was my show, there would be hell to pay.
But yeah, it's like I said, it's just got to that point where
I'm getting promotion.
Sorry, Brian. Cut across your neck.
you do what you got to do. You do what you got to do. But yeah, it's just to the point. Like I said,
yeah.
We're obviously the protests still go ahead. So what everyone saw with that tweet saying they're not going ahead, it's that faction. I will be there with Ryan and Graham from 9 till 6 tomorrow. I'll be there with Graham and Ryan and whoever wants to join as well, 9 till 6 Saturday. And I will be there and from 7:30 in the morning till the close of the window on deadline day. Yep. Sunday is a day of rest. I'm not streaming, or I say that, but probably means I'm doing 58 streams.
You're not streaming.
To be honest, Brian, right now,
going out looking for you.
Brian, right now, you need to be streaming as much as possible. You've got to.
Yeah, this is the thing. Here's the thing. I mean, Tottenham on tour. We'll be doing a live show tomorrow at 3 p.m. and I'll be coming in and out. But the players are back tomorrow, so there'll be a lot of activity in there tomorrow. So hopefully, more people can come and join us. If they can.
One issue we might have, Brian, Alan come up with the other day, that they don't have the Sky Sports guys outside anymore because everyone kept going and pulling moonies and like swearing by them, didn't they? So they let them inside a little bit now.
Doesn't matter.
This is correct. They'll have them inside.
Yeah.
But they will be getting told. We won't. Let's put it this way: it's not going to be a peaceful. It is going to be peaceful, but it's not going to be silent.
Silent, no, absolutely.
And if they hear, and they will be keeping an eye on it, because don't get me wrong, they're checking. They all check Twitter. They all know what's going on. 2 of my tweets had a flag that we had on the. Did you see on TalkSport, Nick? You know the big flag we had on Tuesday? The one opposite where the cars were coming out, that big white one that Sam bought. I'll send you the article. That made it onto TalkSport, like on a article.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you now. And 2 of my tweets got onto the tweet feed of angry. They know that there is unrest. So yes, they're going to be inside most of the time. But whilst we're waiting for nobody to come, they will know that there's people out there.
I mean, all the media, this is the thing. All the media people will know that it's happening because the club will actually brief them that it's happening.
Yeah, don't worry about those guys.
They will
try and preempt it.
Yes, sat there saying, don't talk to them and all of that stuff. And in a way, that can potentially backfire. Because if it's big enough, the media channels will go and have a look, right? And this is why I say it's so important to actually get people out there. And there is a point to protesting, because if you get enough people out there, then what happens is that the media shy the very media shy Mr. Levy and the even more media shy Mr. Lewis will be in the media where they do not like being, right? It's the same with Everton. With Everton are currently, the BBC are talking about the fan unrest there, and Moshiri and what's his face, the other chap that's in charge at Everton are in all the articles. They're always being talked about, and Levy and Lewis will absolutely hate that, right? So
Aston Villa have just signed someone.
yeah, we know.
Who's that?
Okay.
Yeah. What's his face?
So Callum Chambers from Arsenal.
Oh, the Arsenal.
Yeah.
So it's getting a big. Teams don't sell in January. It's hard to get deals in. All right, Callum Chambers isn't a great player. We want him. He's an Arsenal player. But isn't it amazing? They needed a centre back, and they got a centre. Incredible.
Yeah.
I was thinking earlier, if we were 1 point above the relegation zone and we needed a striker, a right wing back, a centre midfielder, do you think he'd have fucked around this long? Or
Yes.
you still think so?
Yes.
Or his desperation would have made him
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. He would.
push the envelope a bit more?
No, you're right. No, yeah, no, sorry. I
Mr.
think,
Charles
yeah,
to
he
sing there,
probably
boys.
would. He probably would. Yeah. Hi, Mrs. Harris.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Big Al.
Yeah, I mean, I think he probably would have made some panic signings in that scenario because losing Premier League income would destroy his model.
He done it with Ramos.
But I will say this: if we were 1 point above the relegation zone, and he knew for a fact that we would not finish any lower than 17th, right? He wouldn't spend a penny.
No, he'd bomb off, endure us to losses all season just to.
Yeah. If
1 second, I'll be back in 1 sec.
Okay.
No worries.
Yeah, if the rest of the season he knew that we would never drop below 17th, he wouldn't spend a penny.
I also managed to photo bomb the side of my head onto that article that Brian just sent me.
Awesomeness.
Photo bomb Barry. Also, Al, I've just realised why you wanted to be Walt Disney. Do you own Al's toy barn in Toy Story?
No. I told you it was because my favourite one, Pinocchio. I love Pinocchio.
You own Al's toy barn in Toy Story, and that's what I'm having. I'm not having anything else.
That's where it all comes from, absolutely.
And that's where the Walt Disney link comes from. That's it for me now.
Yeah. That was my very first film I ever went to see in the cinema. Pinocchio.
What, Toy Story?
No,
you know,
Pinocchio.
Stephen, he's older than that. Don't be fooled. What was that, 1960 something?
No, in the 70s. It might have been the 70s, late 60s, because I don't know whether it was before my mum died or just after. But she took me to it, and I'll never forget her coming out in tears because the whale had eaten Pinocchio.
I don't mean to make light of what was obviously a very emotional thing, but Pinocchio was released in 1940.
Yeah, but
I know. They played it. I know.
You were the first man at the front of the queue, weren't you, when it was released out?
No, it wasn't.
You're now saying that Al did the original light motion bit with Steamboat Willie. Is that what you're trying to say?
I think he did. I really do. I genuinely believe he did. Yeah, I reckon that Walt Disney visited London, and Alan at the time was a hackney carriage driver, and he ferried Mr. Disney from the Port of London to his hotel, and from that, Mr. Disney got the idea of a ship. Populated by Alan, but then he couldn't draw very well, so he turned him into a mouse. So you are the original. That is a credible, believable, and perfectly sound discussion. That was conclusion, I think.
Hello, Guguma.
Guguma, she's a wonderful lady. That woman, she's an absolutely incredible lady.
Yeah,
she is. We had a troll be rude to her earlier, so we had to put him on the naughty step for 5
Sorry?
minutes. We had a troll
yeah,
naughty person, so we had to give him a slap.
Yep.
What an idiot.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I can't remember who was it. You.
I mean, you want to be rude to me.
Well,
Everyone. to me, fuck it. Be rude to me. I don't give a shit. Don't be rude to Kaguma.
Yeah, absolutely,
Just
absolutely.
Don't do it. All right.
No, don't be rude to Kaguma.
So I'm sure all these other streams have done all the transfer targets to death. Who they are, what positions they play, their strengths and their weaknesses, and blah blah blah. So the only other thing really that's happened in Spurs talking points in the week was Arsenal getting the rules changed. Basically, they've the Premier League announced that they're to stop them teams taking advantage of the COVID rules. You've got to have, is it a minimum of four?
Yeah.
Now, are we happy that the rules have been secured, or pissed off that Arsenal got away with it first?
Pissed off, they shouldn't be allowed off with it. Definitely shouldn't be allowed off with it. They've got one player. They had one player in with COVID.
It forever condemns them to having been found guilty of cheating, though, doesn't it? If the Premier League changed the rules on the back of what they did. So that's good ammunition for us to hit them with.
Well, I mean, this is the thing, though. Again, it just shows again the paucity, the just absolute.
Big up, Graham.
That they are. They're so awful. They really are. Hi, Graham. Sorry.
What's up, Ireland?
Ireland.
Brian Ireland, who said he wasn't going to be around? Brian
Ireland,
you've got
Ireland. I'm going to chuck him. I'm going to chuck him the stream. Actually, what night is it? So what time is it back? He should be free. Let me chuck him let me chuck him the link. But I just want to say the comment before we go back, Graham.
Yeah.
Graham, obviously, he's been very vocal on these streams and commenting. Now, obviously, I get a lot of plaudits for what I'm doing with Levy Out, and obviously, I've got my platform, and I'm a known face for Levy Out from what I've been doing with We Are Tottenham TV, even before the protests and everything. Graham is hardcore, and Graham has been to every single one, the NFLs, the Super Leagues. He's there with me and Ryan, so there's been three of us. The three of us as the nucleus, and other people have joined us. And there's a lot of people that are in this Levy Out group that deserve enormous an amount of credit. Graham is definitely right up there at the top. But because I get the platform, obviously but these people deserve a hell of a lot of credit, and Graham is most definitely one of them.
We met him, didn't we, Rez? When first time we met you, Brian, when we come to meet you at the protest.
Yeah.
Graham is there,
Yes,
regular viewer now, Graham.
I saw him that night as well for the Chelsea game as well. It was good to see him again.
And
Absolutely.
he came for the curry.
And he came for the curry, indeed. Yeah. Yes, indeed. It was good. But getting back to what I was saying with regard the COVID stuff. I mean, again, just demonstrates the how awful the authorities are, the executives are, right? This is the league. This is the clubs, right? And
you don't expect Arsenal to tell a piss at that level, there, do you?
But no, exactly. But do you know what? If I was the chairman of Spurs, right, I would be kicking up a fucking storm at that meeting. But I will bet money that Levy went to that thing and was calm and let it all slide, because he doesn't give a shit about Spurs. He doesn't give a shit about our thingy, the substance of what we are as a football club, right? That intangible thing that every club has, even the scum, right? He doesn't have a respect for that, and neither do any of the other chairmans. And this is why we need fan representation on boards. This is why we need more fan voice in football as a whole, so that we can turn around and say, do you know what? You fucked our bloody weekends up. We're the ones spending the money, and you just do things without any kind of thought for those of us that are actually the lifeblood of this game. Without us, you would have nothing. You wouldn't have a product to sell without us. And yet you treat us like shit. You know?
They changed the rules for COVID now, after the Arsenal game. They changed the rules around VAR and handballs. They changed the rules around VAR and offside. So every time it involves us, we get screwed.
Speaking of things that are nothing without someone else, a new guest. Brian Ireland, as I live and breathe.
I love the intro, man.
The man that validates Brian Daigle.
It's a Tottenham
Makes
Hotspur
everything
Validates me.
Yeah. He gives
How
you
you
that
doing, lads?
respectful base to work from. That's what it
Is he my carer? Is that what you're trying to say? My carer?
Have you got a badge, Brian?
Oh goodness gracious, that's fantastic. How you
You're
guys
good.
doing?
Nice to meet-
Yeah,
nice to
I'm
meet
good.
you,
I'm
Brian.
good. I have time freed up a little bit, so I figured I'd hop in the comments, and then thanks for inviting me on. It's a pleasure.
No worries. I think it's the third time you've been on. So if you're on Soccer AM, we have to give you a hat trick ball at this stage.
Yeah, that's
So-
it, right? I can take the ball home with me on the way out. You know.
I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back for me, Brian.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go. Rez has got it. The hat trick
Rez has
ball.
got it there. Yeah, that's
Load of
perfect.
elastic bands.
Nice, fantastic.
Do you know what's inside in the middle? It's a stress ball.
They have to stress to get to it in the first
That's
place.
quality. Fantastic.
Aaron says thanks to Graham for doing what you can on behalf of the fans who can't be
Absolutely.
there. Oh,
Absolutely. No, round of applause. Seriously, for the likes of
Yeah.
Graham, we deserve a round of applause. They really, really
Graham,
do.
Brian Daigle, Barry, Sean, Nick.
We've got Ryan as
whoever's
well.
down there
Another
as well.
Ryan.
Ryan was down there, Yep.
Yeah.
Well done,
Going on
guys.
the about the rules changes, I remember when the stadium opened, I was standing outside, like, because I was on crutches at the time, waiting for me personal assistant to come over from the shops. And as I stood there, Mr. Scudamore, Peter Scudamore walked in.
Oh,
was it Peter Scudamore?
Yeah,
And I actually said to him, "Oh, you're the man
Richard
that can."
Scudamore. Richard
Rich
Scudamore.
Scudamore. I said, "You're the man that arranges football matches, don't you? You mean if they can't
Yeah.
fill the team, if they can't fill the team because they're sick, it don't matter as long as it's not Arsenal."
Yeah. That was him.
I've got a bit of a funny look. I don't know why.
Well, yeah. You'd think he'd be grateful for being shown up as the
On
conniving,
On that point, right?
cheating twat that he is.
We've got 3 or 4 Arsenal lads that play football for my team, right? And I was bantering them the other day about them being cowards and chickens for cancelling the game, and they were trying to get it all back. And I said to him, complete straight face, I said, "Oh, you do realise that Harry Kane was out with COVID, and you should have seen their faces." They're like, "What?" I said, "Yeah. So we haven't got." We're without Sonny, we're without Romero, Skip and Højbjerg had got knocks, and Harry Kane was out with COVID. They were fucking gutted. It was great. So I highly recommend using that on any of your Arsenal supporting mates. Tell them that they by cheating they missed out on playing us without Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Can I just say that as Mr. Do is not on the streams at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Brian Ireland has taken over as the smartest bed. On tour.
Yeah, I unfortunately lost my studio space at the beginning of the month, and I'm looking for a new spot. So my studio space now is literally on a sewing table. My girlfriend's sewing table in my bedroom. So it's the production levels have gone down a little bit. It's temporary.
Where's the green screen gone, Brian?
Yeah, it's in storage with all my other gear.
Yeah,
I was thinking I was going to try to tuck it in here, but it's just too wide. It won't fit.
No. You still look fairly dapper, Brian.
I appreciate that. It's the hair.
It's those Bono glasses, isn't it, Brian?
Yeah. I mean,
he definitely does cut it. He's definitely the one that's got the ladies going on Tottenham on tour. That's for sure. He's the ladies man. He's the ladies man.
That's the sound of Adam jumping off a cliff somewhere.
If anyone's jumping off a cliff, it'll be do because he's skiing.
Yeah,
so I hope he didn't hear this.
I hate that song, because I walk around the house.
It's infectious, isn't it?
3 hours
singing.
Danny
Yeah.
Do you know what? Honestly,
I'm a music producer, right? It's one of the other things I do, and I am going to make that a song. We will be releasing it on our future Tottenham on Tour record label that's coming out in the summer.
Vocals for
The post version. You can do the Rez. You can do the.
I'll do both. I'll do all the vocal parts. I can do close harmony and stuff. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, when I started that song, the whole reason I started that song was Stereos first started calling him, even though he's Greek, Danny Kyprianou. He couldn't say his surname
rugby
right.
player.
So I started going Danny, and literally it became a thing. And I said to Danny, "Listen, I'm gonna get people singing this. I don't care what I have to do.
You do.
I will sing it everywhere when I'm with him. I've sung it loud as anything in the middle of the South Stand. I've sung it. People are now coming up to him at Tottenham and singing it. There's been
It's like
tweets
walking
saying,
by and they see him walk by down the high road, and they're like,
yeah, and they start singing it. Literally, I had someone tweet me and Danny saying, "You know, this song has got bad when even my own dad is singing that when he's walking around the house." So
Must be me.
it's unbelievable where that song has gone. I mean, everyone, even when I'm not on the stream, and I see Danny in the stream or Danny is actually on the comments, the whole thing is do.
immediately. Yeah.
It's like it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
I have visions of him like Saturday Night Fever when he's getting ready to go out now, just positioning his fucking bun and
Get that bun sorted out. Yeah.
Now I'm ready. Now I'm ready.
You know what, Johnny? And this is true. I always speak to him on video call on WhatsApp, so I'll be speaking to him and do stuff. And if he's doing some work stuff, when it's dead silence, it's dead air. You just hear him go do himself. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake. It's got in his head. I'm trying to find an MP4 downloader to download the song off YouTube so I can have it as his ringtone as well.
I
can't wait to make the track. It's gonna be a lot of fun. To do.
With the ooh are ya, it rips the sound off of YouTube, doesn't it? Allegedly, if there's anyone with copyright watching, I didn't get it from YouTube
Yeah, there's a personal recording.
Yeah, Guguma wants to hear you singing a cappella.
Yes.
I presume she means do, but I'm thinking now more End of the Road by Boyz II Men or something.
Yeah. I don't actually know that song, but I can go do 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 Danny Kyriakou do do do. She actually wants
Saturday Night Fever, like Rez. She actually wants Saturday Night Fever.
Not as funky as I'd expect from you, but you know.
Danny Kyriakou.
There it is.
Danny Kyriakou.
Yeah, but Rez, whilst you're off camera, we're missing the salsa move and whatever you're doing with that.
Hold on, here we go.
There you go.
Kyriakou, Danny
Rez, we're gonna do a video now too with you starring it.
I'm sure Cody's already clipped that by the time when the show's finished.
Oh yeah, Cody's sending that to me in an email later today. So
Cody, king of the Clippers.
Get that clip in, Cody. Sort it out.
Oh mate, I'm so.
Mate, you're
so
the king
forward.
of the Clippers after having cut Bobby's hair the other day, mate. You were the king
Oh,
of the Clippers.
Oh,
so
mate,
nervous about it too, wasn't he?
Mate, I'm not joking. I went all Muhammad Ali. I was like, Jesus Christ! I thought I had Parkinson. Literally, I was petrified of hurting him or nipping his ear, and he can't speak. So even if I did anything, so I was, mate. It was the most nerve-wracking thing. And then obviously all those wires that are plugged in. I was like, if I nudged one, or mate, it was the most intense thing I've ever done. Honestly.
I still think you should have given him a mohawk because he couldn't have complained.
Yeah, I think so too. It would have been brilliant.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that to him. I wouldn't do that to him.
It would have been funny.
You left him with a mullet. You said that's not.
No, I left him with that bit there on his request because he meant the whole hospital, or not the whole hospital, but the doctors turning him around and getting him so I could get the back. So he's just got here.
Yeah.
So basically, he's got like grandpa. You know the grandpa cuts we used to have where they're bald here, there. But he's just got it there.
He starts sweeping the nation.
I say after I've done with my Levy out stick, I'm going into the barbering world and coming up with hipster haircuts.
New hairstyle, the Bobby.
There you go. See, this guy's my lawyer. He's already coined the term trademarked.
Mate, I've got the contracts all signed. It's fine. It's ready to go, mate. Whenever you want.
Oh, play, patented and everything.
Another money streaming avenue. We haven't got a lot more to talk about. I mean, there's nothing happening, is there, in Spurs?
Yeah.
We haven't actually talked about the one thing that we set out to talk about for 2 hours today.
Which was
Jack Clarke's transfer to Sunderland. What are your thoughts on Jack Clarke's transfer to Sunderland? Rez, would you like to start with your thoughts on when you heard the news that he'd left?
Well, I mean, you can imagine my testicles exploded.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not disparaging Sunderland fans. I'm sure for them he's an exciting signing, but You know,
it just goes to the pain that we have in our recruitment or lack thereof. That we were at some point excited about this signing. Hey, how many minutes has he played for Spurs? Does anybody know?
In the Premier League, 0.
Yeah, 0 minutes in the Premier. He played just in Europa, right? Or
I mean, I'm so happy we spent
on against Marine as well. I think.
Yeah, we won an FA Cup. Yeah, that's right.
I'm so happy we wasted 10 million on him, which could have gone to get the extra for Fernandez or Skriniar, just to see him go on loan to QPR, Stoke, and now Sunderland. What wraps it up into a nice tidy ball is I've just had a good friend of mine, and Brian Island knows him, Jake, a friend of mine in Canada. Tim Vickery. This is what Tim Vickery has said. It's been reported by Last Word on Spurs, but Tim Vickery has tweeted it. This is the way. Listen to the quote in the middle of this, and I'm going to speak a little bit more direct, so you'll know when I'm talking about. This is the kind of quote that Tottenham Hotspur are being labelled about with now. This is the way Tottenham like to do business. Sniff around whilst the window is closing, and come up with cheaper offers that the club would like to accept. Sniff around. That's what we've become.
Last chicken at Sainsbury's, isn't it?
Yeah.
And dogs.
Yeah.
That's what we've become.
It's embarrassing, really. It's just embarrassing.
I mean, I knew a family a few years back who were in impoverished circumstances, and what they would do would basically wait until their local Sainsbury's was closing, and go and shop reduced style, right?
Yeah, I know.
And obviously, you know, when people have to do that, I mean, it's tragic when anyone has to do that. But when a club of our size essentially does that, that's just disgusting. It really is. It really is. We should not be in that situation. We should have some pride, if nothing else, to say we are big enough to demand a seat at the table for prime targets, not act as if we have nothing, you know, which is what we're doing.
Yeah,
and it's terrible.
It comes down to one person in that scenario as well. He's his own
person.
Yeah, his own reputation, and nobody wants to work with him. So as soon as there's a scenario where you might be in for him, and there's another option, the other option's going to go through more likely than our options.
Brian don't know me. Brian don't know me. Who I was about 2 weeks ago, does he?
So basically, Brian, Alan was not Levy out, but not Levy in.
Oh, the fence sitters. I was one of those.
No, I wouldn't even say.
I was one of them too. So I mean, I'm not.
I will go as far as I think he was leaning more towards out than in. I think if he was on the fence, he was kind of there, just waiting for that push.
His knickers were stuck on the.
Exactly. He was getting a wedgie from the pole. Yeah. So John, it's like I said. You know, it's like I said. I think my breaking point was Martignol, and it's well documented. But I think this transfer window has been that straw that broke the camel's back.
Big one for a lot of people, definitely.
For a majority of people, regardless of how long they've supported the club or not, it's been the straw like, hey, now this is unacceptable. This is ridiculous. We keep getting told once this happens, this will happen. Once that happens, that will happen. And there's only so many times. It's boy who cried wolf syndrome, and the wolf has come calling.
Yeah.
Perfectly put. It really is.
Yeah, true.
It really is.
Before we finish, if there's any, we've got quite a few people watching. So if you've got any questions for the panel, usually, obviously, the content of these shows is fairly formulated. So if there's something that you've dying to ask any of our guests on screen, now is your opportunity, because it's a quiet news week in Tottenham history. So if you want to ask Rez anything about his Transformers t-shirt, is that, or is it a Thundercats?
Jurassic Park
we're going with today. If you want to wish Brian the best of luck finding his new studio, if you want to find out which areas he's looking at, if you've got any real estate that you can offer him for his studio.
Don't you might have some.
I don't
want to work with him. I'll get kicked out.
And if you want to ask Brian just how fast his beard does grow, because it grows at a hell of a state, doesn't it? Like in the morning he'll shave it, and then he's got 2 days growth after an hour.
It really is impressive.
Alan sent me a message. Did he, Alan? Yeah. It grows quick. It's all the Dead Sea products I used to have when I lived in Israel and everything. It's opened up the pores and everything. Yeah, it grows back ridiculously quick. When did I shave? I shaved the day I went to see Bobby. I shaved Tuesday.
Tuesday.
8 minutes.
I checked
ago.
2 days ago.
And then
That's not
Tottenham
too
on
bad,
tour
actually.
Tottenham on tour the night after. It was
For
like
2 days
Hold on a
growth.
minute.
That's impressive. That is impressive.
Mine,
Gaz,
yeah,
mine-
what it was the day before.
Gazza, who's on our panel here, he wants to give you a beard contest because he said his beard grows at a similar. So they want to shave at the same time and see whose beard grows back quicker. He doesn't
That's
think
good. That's good content, mate.
That
That's,
is cracking content. That is, Brian.
Yeah.
No, that's it.
transfer window. Transfer window and
Welcome-
international
welcome-
break content.
Welcome
That's
to
about
the
it.
Shelf Side Spurs Show
Yeah.
beard off.
That's the thing. We can do one of those time lapses as well. We can shave both live on the channel just to show we shaved at the right time.
Just
And
keep
then
it live and
time
just sit
lapse.
there for 2 hours or for two days.
The kind
while
of
you guys grow your beards.
the kind of killer
Unfair, so
content we
it
need. If
does.
you could,
Try to feed
if
you
you
at the
could
same
film
time.
yourself next time you shave Bobby's hair, we'll put that out as a stream as well.
No, no. Mate, holding a phone and holding a camera, I'll be like, this is the recipe.
He struggles enough, and they're one and the same at the moment. He still struggles with it.
Oh, that's way below the fucking belt, bro. Don't make me come over there.
Yeah,
Well,
you're gonna come home. Is that what you're
Don't
gonna
do
come?
that.
What, Ryan, you're going to go home? You mean
He's
you're
gonna
going to
come home finally.
to your
Yeah.
wife?
No, I meant I'll just get Johnny to change you and me, and then I'm next to him, and then we can have a right little.
I can do
Right,
that.
little-
I can do
Click,
that.
Yeah.
click and drag. Click and drag. There
There
you
you
go.
go. No, for fuck's sake,
See what I mean? Can't even get it the right direction.
fuck you.
Just put your thumb in front of it, Bri. You'll be fine.
Oh,
Gaguma's getting
You
behind
like
the beard off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Bye.
Gaguma's up for the beard off, so we need to do this.
Right.
Right.
Aaron
love
has a question for the panel. Probably mentioned already. We haven't actually, Aaron. We
No, we
thought
haven't.
we thought most of the other streams would cover most of that, so we were just talking nonsense like we're prone to do. Probably mentioned already and I missed it, but chances on us signing Diaz. Alan, you reckon you had some intel, and you were the
Well,
What
apparently
did you
I
hear?
was told that we haven't gone for no. Mendes has taken over the Traore situation because he's heard that we're looking at like Diaz.
Yeah.
So apparently Mendes is the one that's put the stopper on Traore.
Well, he's his
Where is
agent.
that? Where is at Barcelona? He's in a Barcelona shirt.
Yeah, he's already gone.
is he all up in his bathtub top? Is
Yeah.
in answer to Aaron's question, it smells like Liverpool are going to sign him all over this.
We've got
Liverpool City signing him all over.
Well, I mean, Brian Ireland actually he brought a tweet up whilst we were on. And basically, he said, wages and everything agreed with the agent. The players happy and would want to come and play with Conte. Spurs are between 10 to 14 million away from agreeing the fee.
10 million,
And
yeah,
nothing.
10 million difference in the fee, and I'm just like, yeah, that's not happening.
That's what you have to say.
that brinksmanship negotiations getting to the
Yeah,
end?
in answer to Aaron's question, it's actually 0.
Yeah, basically.
Alistair Gold was quite confident of. He said, I know you lot are going to think it's a smoke screen and they do it every time. And he mentioned the Dybalas and all the previous deals that have fallen through. But he said, my information is that we are genuinely trying to sign him
But where's he getting the information from?
from Fed.
Yeah,
From the club,
I
obviously,
think-
yeah.
Do you know what? Honestly, I think the people that are giving him the information, they may have been in the know before now, but right now they just haven't got a fucking clue because the club don't have a clue. I'm convinced they've got, like I said before, I think they've got one of those Wheel of Fortune things. They just spin it, and whatever name it lands on is that's where we're going to start the rumor today. I don't think even the sources, whether you believe in the sources, whether they're credible, whether you think they're all con artists or fraudsters or whatever you think they are, I don't think inside the club they don't know what they're doing. They literally, the left arm doesn't know what the right arm's doing.
Yep.
Do you remember?
And it may be,
That would go with how we're told how Paratici does business. If he's got irons in lots of different fires, he's probably got a wall full of players, and he's thinking, "What opportunities have I got here?"
He's just
Can I
throwing
get that
darts
one?
at it at
That
this
one's
point.
gone. Let's try that one. That one's gone. Let's try that one.
Right.
And he
Put
might-
some ar-
there is a
put
danger,
some
of course,
arse
is
on
that
it, sticks a pin
Yeah,
in it.
just chuck
This
it up
does
there, see what
actually
happens.
answer
there
the
is a
question.
danger.
I
Pin the
if
tail
we
on the
end up with
donkey.
none of them. Yeah. Go on,
That's-
go on,
And
Matt.
you know it's going to be a
Tail on the
donkey
donkey, that's
with our
brilliant,
business. Pin the tail on the
This
donkey.
there you go. We can all copyright a board game together. We can call it the Daniel Levy transfer policy. We just have loads of little pub games like a dartboard with the whatever number you hit is the amount of millions you bid. So if you hit treble 20, you bid 60 million. We can have We could have pin the
towel and
down donkey
Yeah.
for,
But
with the player's
bo-
face and whoever comes closest.
the
Mate, there's
board
something
game
in it.
doesn't. The board game doesn't come with a donkey's body though.
You just need pictures of the players we signed. They're all donkeys anyway.
You'll have Deli on it or Ndombele in there.
Yeah, exactly. Or the last like 10 transfers we brought in that have flopped essentially. So.
You know the spinner that you get in Twister,
Yeah.
right? It'll basically be that, and then in each little sort of slice of that twist, what's the Twister spinner? It will just say we're interested in, us thinking about
$10 million difference of evaluation.
And then you've got another one on this side, a bit sort of Wheel of Fortune one with just various European players all around it. So you spin the one and then you spin the other, and that's the latest story. Because ultimately, it is all just media stuff coming out of the club. All of these people are briefed by someone. Fabrizio Romano is not, following every European player around and watching exactly what he's doing and then, tweeting about it. It's all briefings that are coming from various sources. Some will be from agents, some will be from players, some will be from clubs. Tottenham Hotspur are like a fortress when it comes to their media content, right? It's all coordinated by Auntie Donna, right?
Yeah.
She's the head honcho on there. So anything that comes out, it might be true. I'm not saying everything that comes out will be false, but everything that comes out from the likes of Romano, from the likes of thing, will basically be the club.
And it's
right?
it's essentially PR at that point. The club is just trying they're either trying to push something to happen or create something in the media that is a narrative that suits them.
Absolutely.
Make themselves sound popular.
Who have Barcelona sold then to be able to fit Traore into that?
You know what? They actually paid 7 million more than the 20 million we were that he.
Yeah, but you do realise it's the money that we paid them for Emerson.
Oh, I know.
That's gone and bought it.
It's absurd.
They want Ousmane Dembele off their books, but the Traore signing is a loan until the end of the season. So in terms of the transfer fee, they don't need to worry. They've just got to pay his wages.
Loan with an option to buy, right?
They've got more time with the Ousmane Dembele exit because then they can push it to the summer if
So Rez, this will be my last comment because as Sean knows, Sean Barry, not insert name here, knows 9 o'clock on a Thursday, me and my mum go take the piss out of everyone on The Apprentice. So I'm not off to do that. But what you just said, they brought in Adama to replace. You mean you can bring in players to your squad before you sell?
Yes,
you can strengthen your team.
Yes,
you're allowed to do that.
There's nothing on their official account about Traore.
I've got a picture of him. It could have been mocked up, but Romano's giving it the here we go. It's done. If he believe Romano or not, and I do believe Romano, not with everything he says, but when he says here we go, done.
Yeah,
it's as plain as day.
Yeah.
So but isn't it amazing how we got told we have to sell to buy, and with Ericsson we had to get rid of him, and that's what stopped the Fernandes.
Yeah.
But Barcelona trying to get rid of a player, but what do? They strengthen their squad and bring the cover in to make sure it's there. And so then, I mean, we're such fantasists thinking that's. I mean, how dare I? How dare I? But on that note, I'm gonna have to go and take the piss out of people in the Apprentice with my mum. And I'll leave with my normal way. Brian and I can do the great plug. I just want to say thank you for all the support our channel's been getting recently. It's been phenomenal. But I will be at the training ground tomorrow from 9 a.m. If anyone wants to join, don't have to stay for the whole thing. Just pop by, whatever. I'm there from 9 till 6 with Ryan and Graham. And as always, Levy out.
See you, Brian.
See you, Brian.
Absolutely.
We're not going to go too much longer ourselves. If there's no questions coming in from the viewers,
it's just
I think some
more days.
It's just interesting on that.
Go on, Barry.
About the having to get.
No, I love that. I just read that now.
Just on that, having to get rid of players before we bring players in. I saw a tweet that we're trying to get rid of Doherty, but we need to get rid of him first before we bring a replacement in. Now, obviously, about 2 or 3 years ago, we had about 18 different right backs. Now we'll have. I'm Brian, and so is my wife. So I don't understand how we've gone from having Aurier, Carl Walker-Peters, Tanganga, whoever else as right back, and now we've got Doherty and Emerson, and now we're talking about getting rid of Doherty, and and we need
replacing him with Traore was the idea, which that's not going to happen.
We haven't replaced Dembele, we haven't replaced Ericsson, we haven't replaced everyone else that's left the club. So
the people that were calling for a designated right wing back should be happy, because it means we'll obviously have to go to our second or third choice, probably fourth or fifth, sixth
so
choice.
Does that mean we're going to go back in for Max Aarons and pay 40 million quid or something ridiculous?
We'll just buy Kyle Walker-Peters back for twice the amount of money he spent. Sold him for.
Yeah.
He's Spurs through and through. He'll want to come back, right?
Yeah, but another player who could have developed.
He was great. He was already the two games he played, like the two games that he actually played, he got man of the match when he played.
He did,
and I'm like, why is this guy leaving? Who is in charge of the situation, and why are they failing so miserably? Because he went to Southampton and immediately you're like, he's going to be a player.
Right into the team, and they had
one of their better creators from that position. He's done such a good job.
Wasn't it Mourinho that sent him down there on loan in the first place?
Yeah, I think the idea was we got an exchange with Højbjerg, and that was part of that deal. So Højbjerg coming in, and it was a position we needed at the time.
It was two parallel deals at the same time.
It was
complex, but it was in essence,
they were kind of combined to some extent.
He doesn't like small fullbacks, as he Mourinho traditionally likes 6 foot
big
fullbacks.
Big ones, yeah. But I mean, ultimately, look, it's just another failing. For the club. 100%. Another failing, and again, I'm sorry. Listen, he might. Let's say, hypothetically, I know it's very difficult to believe. Let's say Levy, right, actually wants to sign players and actually wants Spurs to do well and actually wants a decent squad. The fact that we don't is a failing.
Yeah.
And you can't defend that. You can't. 100%. You can't turn around and say he's done all these good things but then look at the squad as it is, because ultimately your performance as whatever employee you happen to be, and he is employed by the club, he is paid a salary by the club as their chief executive, forget the ownership aspect of it. Because of that salary, he has to perform in the same way that I have to perform in my job. Alan will have had to perform when he was still working. Johnny, you have to perform in your job. Nick, you have to perform in your job. Brian, you have to perform in your job. And every single one of our commentators will have to perform in their job. If they don't, either if they run their own business, they will go out of business, or their bosses will start performance management on them.
The problem here, Rez, though, is the scenario is his boss and the metrics that he uses to rate whether he's doing a good job or not aren't valued on the team. They're valued on the amount of money they make, and he's doing great at that.
And he's doing great at that. But the point here is that this is the thing: if he was employed as, and I'm talking in terms of the actual nominal things that he's employed for. If his title was chief land speculator or property speculator, right? Yeah, fantastic. He's done a great job, but he's not. His job title is chief executive of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club.
Yeah.
Right. And so on that metric, just by his job title, he's failed, right? Because we have a terrible squad, a terribly thin and unbalanced squad. We have been through 5 managers in the space of 4 years. Those are, for a football executive, bad metrics for him.
Should be fired for it.
And he should be fired
in any other business, he would be if he wasn't an owner. And I agree 100%.
At this stage, it can go 2 ways. Either what we discussed before you joined, Brian, that Paratici's modus operandi is to have all these deals cooking, and then at the last minute he pulls the trigger on the ones he wants, and it kicks in the deals, and he's got a plan all along. Or chaos theory, Levy sees all the negative publicity, panics and throws money at some big money buys. So it might work out in our favour. Probably won't to the balance of our squad.
I can appreciate the wishful thinking there.
Yeah, sure. So that's why hopefully it'll go one of those ways that Paratici's got a plan all along, and he's just got to pull the trigger on the deals he wants to do. And the Traore deal was a red herring to get everyone off the scent.
I heard something about the Traore deal. I think it was Matty Hayes was saying on his recent stream about a couple hours ago that Traore deal was sat on sort of standby intentionally because they weren't 100% sure about it, and that Conte specifically thought that they could get somebody better. I don't know where his information is from that information, but that's what he had stated in his stream, and I was like, okay. I mean, I was never into Traore in the first place. I think he's just a bulkier version of Lucas Moura. Like, what does he do that Lucas Moura doesn't already in that same position? What are we adding? Maybe the physicality, but I still think It's not enough for me to say. Now, having said that, Conte did want him as a right wing back. We know what Conte can do for players. We know that he makes players better. In this case, maybe it could have worked, and maybe he would have been okay with doing it under Conte. But if a manager's going to be able to do it, it's him. But it's just, for that to be our main focus and the transfer that we're worked up about, we've got serious problems if that's the issue, because he wasn't even starting for Wolves in the Premier League, and this is the player that we're putting all our hopes on. It says everything about how the
it's like the Amrabat. It's like the Amrabat.
Yeah, exactly.
I know
he's absolutely pissed for that player.
Yeah, I mean, Gareth on Tommy Talks Ball, he did make a good point. Look, ultimately, just because a player isn't favoured at his current club doesn't mean he can't do a job. But
sure,
it's a question of intent. Yeah. When you make a big noise about signing Fiorentina's 6th choice central midfielder, that tells a story about the type of club you are.
Yeah.
Would Man United be making a big deal about signing Amrabat? No, they probably, if they wanted him,
probably hide it. Don't tell anybody. We're going to bring this guy in.
Yeah, it's like, we've signed this enormous premium player. We also got Amrabat as well.
Yeah, he's here for squad depth, essentially, which is what he would be doing. And does he even get into Spurs? Like, does he get in front of Højbjerg? Does he get in front of Winks? Does he get in front of Skip? Those are players that we all like, other than Skip. That the other two were kind of wouldn't be bothered if we brought in a player that was better. That you'd have to compete for their place.
Because
he doesn't. He's not.
And we are short of central midfielders because let's say we've got 5. Let's say we've got Dele and Ndombele, Lo Celso, Skip, and Højbjerg. The only 2 that are reliable are Skip and Højbjerg.
Yep.
The other 3 we don't know. So we can't. It's not about adding depth for us. It's for adding substance for
quality.
us.
Quality. Yeah. Those three of those players were out of the squad when we played the European champions last week. So it tells you everything about whether what their value is.
I watched the Morocco game the other day to see what he was about, because I wasn't that impressed with this. That highlights package that everyone was.
It's not even a highlight, so it's so
bad. It's so bad. So I thought I'd use my own 2 eyes, as Will Stewart always says, use your own 2 eyes. So I watched it. He does look very similar to Winks. He's very neat and tidy. One thing that did concern me, there's a couple of 50-50s where he didn't win the ball, basically bottled out of the tackles, and I thought, in the Premier League, mate, you're not gonna do too well if you're not going to be going through those tackles. But I think he's very specific. He's a round peg for a round hole, isn't he? Conte knows he can play the system he wants to play, and he was really impressed with him at the club he was with before Fiorentina. So I think it's all about players he can rely on, and I think Conte likes the look of him as he's a very similar player to Skip and Højbjerg, but I'd say he's probably better on the ball than Højbjerg, which is one of Højbjerg's criticisms, isn't it? He doesn't use the ball very well.
If Conte wants Amrabat, I want Amrabat.
Yeah, I agree with that.
For me, there's 2 sides to it. There's what the manager wants, and then there's the manner in which you do it. A player like Amrabat should not take us time.
No,
should not take us any time. Apparently, we've been talking to him or talking about him or trying to get a deal for him since Sunday. Right? We should have done it by now. It's Thursday.
This is the thing, right?
Done by Wednesday at the latest.
Traore wouldn't be at Barca if we had our shit together and just pulled the trigger and bought the player, right?
And we shouldn't make a big deal about it. It's just like, okay, we're interested in Amrabat, and then a couple of days later, we've signed Amrabat. Can we move on now?
Yeah.
The most striking thing about that Morocco game, Rez, was how good Hakimi is. I was thinking, no wonder Conte's got such an issue with Royale and Doherty, because he is fucking brilliant. I tell you,
because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
exactly.
He was literally playing up further than the striker. The whole team were going through him. He was taking all the corners, taking all the free kicks, which were all on target pretty much. And he's just so quick and brilliant on the ball, which neither obviously Royale and Doherty aren't that good going forward, are they? But Hakimi, some player. You can see why Conte is looking to upgrade those areas after watching.
And why he's frustrated with what we have if he's worked with him. You just gotta go, what have I got myself into?
I mean, Brian, I'm Brian, and so's my wife. Rez, you were talking about 3 signings, yeah? They didn't say whether they were ins and outs or a mixture of contracts. So we got Hugo as one, Mark Hamday is the other, and we have Jack Clarke as the third one. So there's the 3, right?
Doing business.
That's the 3 bits of business, no?
London City, No, but I mean, this is the and what will Levy's excuse be? Oh, we couldn't agree a fee.
It was
Because
too
that-
late in the day for them to sign a
Yeah.
replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
couldn't
that's the thing,
agree
it's
on
wonderful.
you know.
Yeah.
Image rights.
Image
Yeah,
rights.
Fell
image
down
rights.
at
And
the last
there's
minute,
so many
We
things.
couldn't
And
agree on how much he was going to pay for my boots.
yeah, I mean, it beggars belief. I'm sorry, this is not. I've said it on other streams. We have the 8th highest revenue in Europe, right?
11th richest in the world.
11th richest in the world. There is no reason for us to be scraping for bargains. None.
Nope.
And a lot of people have said, "Oh, well, we've had my favorite in terms of the thing that will basically get me laughing like a drain, irrevocable losses, because other losses are revocable, allegedly." Yeah.
I think
COVID causes
Gotta make it
irrevocable
sound
losses.
important, Rez.
Yeah, I love
it's
that.
highly likely, Raz, that it's his ego as well. And he's like, oh, I can't do a deal straightforward because people will think I've become a soft touch and like my whole reputation as this hard businessman.
Yeah.
I can't just do a
Maybe.
straightforward deal,
He
Here's the
has
price,
shown
pay
himself to be egotistical. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. With Danny Rose, with Matthew Norman, who was it? The other one that I thought might even be with Kieran Trippier. Yeah, exactly. It may well be. I don't want to appear weak. Yeah, I mean, it's like, come on, Daniel, you're 58, man.
Yeah, get over yourself.
Yeah.
Speaking
You
of
just
Kieran,
look like an idiot, basically. In this
speaking of
situation.
Kieran Trippier, was it Alan or Rez that posted the link to the article? What could you summarise what Kieran Trippier was saying in that piece, Rez?
So Trippier basically turned around and said that 2 months before the Champions League final, or before the end of the season, he found out that Daniel Levy was offering him to other clubs right in the middle of the season. And Trippier at the time was our first choice fullback, right back, because Kyle Walker had left. And it's like when, and then he also went on to criticize the fact that we sold Moussa Dembele in January rather than waiting for the end of the season for him to leave on a free. I mean, think of it this way, and the point that he specifically raised, Trippier was specifically quoted as raising, was imagine if you had Moussa Dembele rather than Moussa Sissoko in the Champions League final.
Yeah, I must admit, every time I went to a game with Dembele was playing, I felt confident.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue there, and it's easy to forget these things, guys, but Moussa Dembele was very unfit most of the time for that season. So as much as I agree, a fit Moussa Dembele, 100%, but he barely played because he was almost
the main point. Sorry, just to make this one. The main point here is about the method of operating.
Oh, I agree with that.
The way of acting, rather than the specific decisions that were made.
For sure,
the way of acting is suspect.
That would explain why Trippier had the needle with the club, wouldn't it? Or, towards the end there.
As I was going to say, the thing is, Brian, I'm not being funny, but on that Champions League final, Harry Kane wasn't really fit.
Yeah, but and I agree, that's true. Harry Kane wasn't and shouldn't have played based on what we had seen in the semifinal. But Harry Kane had one injury that he had to come back from. Moussa Dembele had been for the last 2 seasons prior been struggling with like the same injury coming in and out of the team. So it is a bit different, but I get what you're saying.
You always play your strongest team in a cup final, even if you've got a few doubts.
But ultimately, looking behind the scenes, you should not be offering or if you're going to offer your right back around, don't let him find out. Don't let him find out. You're fucking your own squad. You're fucking the confidence of your
middle of the season. In the middle of the season.
What is the matter with you? Don't sell an asset in January because you're worried that you won't get a transfer fee, because if you don't, that is not helping the football side.
What point did he make in the article about him being touted around? Did he offer any kind of suggestion as to
He was just
why.
upset about it, and he said
He's
how much
upset about
it
it, yeah.
affected his situation. He said he played for the club anyway, and he played for the fans, but he was incredibly uncomfortable with what was going on, and knew
And
that
he was going
being
through that
shocked around.
period of poor form. Do you remember the end of
Yeah.
basically playing with an injury the entire time too, because we didn't have anybody else who could play in the position or with confidence anyway.
Didn't he made that point in the article as well? Didn't he, that there was no competition for him,
Yep.
and he was playing poorly, and that he still had to play. Or he knew he'd play every game.
Yep.
But not good. Anything else to discuss, boys, before we wrap up? Anything else been going on in the world of Spurs this week? We've discussed the change in the rules.
There's
Premier
that
League.
Hull player we're interested in as well. Apparently,
Who?
again, there's a player at
Some
Hull.
young Hull lad.
Yeah, he's got
again,
he's got
one
Potter
for
in his
the-
name, hasn't he? So we've had all of the Harry Potter.
Keen Lewis Potter. Lewis Potter, who is all of I'm just doing my encyclopedia thing, all of 20 years old. That's what we need. That's just
Apparently,
what we
we're
need.
looking into Lamptey, who I'd love to get in.
He's my first choice.
From Fabrizio Romano, who has said it, but I mean, I'm just looking at Twitter now, so it's on Twitter. Somebody hashtag Fabrizio.
Thing is, you
Romano.
can't see him paying the price though, Brian, because he is a bit injury prone. So if there's a tax, isn't there, between English clubs? So he's going to cost us a lot. And with that injury dealt over him, you can see Levy trying to play silly buggers with the feet, can't you? Which is going to be a problem.
100%.
Depends if Brighton want any of our players. They have been linked with a couple. Like Rodon, for instance. You could send Doherty down there. Couldn't you? Could give him another right wing back.
We're not getting empty. Not in the January, and not
no
in
way.
the
Not Brighton are a good side at the moment. They're why would they get rid of a player they just bought who makes them a much better team when he's in
the only team
that
would get the likes of Lamptey would be if the big ones want him. Then he'll go. If anyone else wants him, they won't, and that includes us. Not because we're not big, but because we don't act big. We act like small clubs, so we're not getting it.
I got some other news that you guys will be excited about. Barcelona have now moved ahead of Tottenham in the race for Frank Kessie. The Spanish club are in pole position to sign the AC Milan midfielder and have taken important steps.
Yeah, I heard that the other day.
Tomorrow, you know what? Tomorrow they'll be linked with what's it called? With
Yes.
Aren't they broke though? Like, how do they have any money to do any of this? I mean,
it's £1 billion in debt. They're not
so corrupt, but
broke.
they still haven't managed to spend money on players. It's bizarre.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's because as we've said, first of all, debt is not necessarily a bad thing for a business. BT are something like £3 billion in debt, but they are a going concern. No one cares. No one worries about their debt levels because they've got revenue. Barcelona have revenue.
Sure.
People are watching football.
Yeah,
£3 billion and £50 in debt, Res, because I cancelled my BT account the other day.
Okay. Well, that's it, man. You fucked BT, Johnny. How'd you feel?
Tipped him over the edge. Before we go tonight, we've got some a big announcement to make, haven't we? And should we let the man in the middle there at the top make the announcement as he managed to
himself make the announcement? Yeah.
Yep. So next week we've got a special guest appearance on the show, and Alan will give you further information now.
Yeah,
Who is it, Alan?
I have been in touch with the one and the only Mickey Hazard.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Mickey Hazard.
Players from my time.
Yeah, and you're actually going on the Spurs Stadium tour.
Spurs Stadium tour with him as well on the 27th of April.
If anyone wants to meet Big Al on the 27th of April, he's actually
to wish me happy birthday, of course.
Of course, yeah. So next week we've got Mickey Hazard on. So
your birthday is 5 days.
You guys want to provide a date and a time for that? So.
Yeah, so 7:30 usual time next Thursday night we've got Mickey on. So we when we have new guests on, we do White Hart Memory Lane, where we ask them about their first away games, European away days and stuff. So we're going to adapt that slightly for Mickey, so he can tell us all about the beginning of his career and
I'm still waiting
some
for
of his favourite. Have we not done you yet?
No.
You have to get in queue, mate. Get behind Mickey. To be fair, Al, now you're being a bit mischievous here. You said all of your answers were the same as Kev's, and you weren't sure whether you wanted to. You weren't sure whether you wanted to do it. But
yeah, damn you!
We might do a. We might do a. Yeah, we might do.
They know everything.
I never forget, mate. So we might do a special show in the week then, just to get Alan's White Hart memory lane out of the way, so Mickey Hazard,
Yeah.
you can't complain when Mickey's on. And obviously we do a quiz every week, the Jens quiz. So next week's Jens quiz is going to be on Mickey Hazard, but it's going to be Jens against Mickey Hazard.
Oh, that's brilliant. I'll be
That's the
tuning in for
kind
that.
of content we can bring you, along with Brian shaving his beard and shaving Bobby's mohawk. That's the kind of content we can bring you.
Content is brilliant on this channel. I'm such a
Well,
proud contributor right now.
I can only
And
review
according to Harry
yours,
Kane,
Brian.
someone
because-
shaving their balls, allegedly. I don't know if you saw that comment, but he's interested in seeing that, which would
Really?
be
Hey, well, you know.
Yeah, so yeah, on that
my
bombshell.
testicles exploded, so I can't shave them.
Yeah, they're gone. They've exploded. So yeah, next week, 7:30, Thursday night, we've got Mickey Hazard on. We're going to talk to him about his early days at the club. Talk about when he first heard he was going to be playing for Spurs. Where he was, who he told first, things like that. Just get him talking about the old days when he first joined the club, taking him right through his Spurs career when he went off to Chelsea, coming back. And I say we're going to top it off with the Jens quiz. If Jens fucking turns up, Jens, I did you a special fucking video this week.
He's not going to turn up after you put that creepy
Yeah.
picture of him with
With Sigurdsson.
You have a backup there? You have a backup?
I outed his naughty little secret that him and Sigurdsson had a little moment once at the Tottenham Stadium. It doesn't even turn up to get humiliated. So who knows? Maybe Jens will be here next week for the Mickey Hazard quiz. Maybe he won't.
Guys,
Jens,
I just
go
got a text from Jens saying that the police are coming around to arrest him.
And on that bombshell, good night.
hang on.
You're
George,
back.
don't go.
You're
Hang
back.
on. Brian, thanks for
Yes.
coming on. Do you want to plug your channel?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'd rather plug your channel, but yeah, Tottenham on tour. Things are rolling really well with us right now. Got a show tomorrow at 3 p.m. GMT with the Irish Hotspur and Jack Kinnicky. We're just going to do another sort of transfer rumor bitch fest like this was. So the lack thereof of anything happening, chatting Spurs, and we've got a transfer deadline day on the Monday. We're going to be basically live most of the day, having people come in and out. I'd love to have you guys join us as well if anybody's available. Any of you guys want to come on our channel? We're just going to be just kind of having a laugh in and out and keeping it casual, and hopefully seeing some players come in. But yeah, but I
won't
just
be Walt Disney.
just to say, smash a like on this channel, and if you're not already subscribe as well. These guys are brilliant, and yeah, just help them grow. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Stuff. Thanks for having me.
If any of our viewers haven't subscribed, I'm sure you have, but Tottenham on tour, where you can see Brian Ireland and Brian Daigle, Adam as well, and Danny Kyriakou.
Kyriakou. You're close. You're close.
Danny Kyriakou. I'm becoming stale. I can't say Danny's surname. And on that note, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you
Cheers.
Spurs.
There it is.
Always stay until the end credits. There's a bonus feature at the end credits.